Oh, good evening, Marley and Tuan. How are we today?
Yeah, good.
Very well.
That's great. Look, we just made this appointment today to go through the auction procedures. And I just want to outline and confirm all the auction day procedures for you, because that's probably the first time that you've participated in an auction. Is that correct? Yeah. All right, that's great. Okay, so I just want to go and run through a couple of documents with you that we need to have by law, and they are the legislative requirements for the auction. So during the before the auction, what we do is we have the property open for 30 minutes, so potential buyers can walk through and have a last inspection. And at that time, by law, we have to display documentation regarding the property, such as the bidder's rules. We have a contract of sale open for them to view, section 32, and other documents, legal documents that pertain to the property. We do have rules such as dummy bidding not being allowed, and requirements that the successful bidders will have to go through. So that's one criteria. The other thing is the auctioneer, who's definitely licensed by law to be an auctioneer, will read the state laws applicable to the auction, and the state laws as well as the particular rules for your house. Okay, what goes on. And those sort of rules include things if vendor bids are allowed, or if co-owner bids are allowed. But I think in your case we don't really have co-owner bids, so that excludes that. But if you want, the auctioneer can put bids on your behalf if it goes a little bit slow and you want to just crank up the auction interest a little bit. Now then we start with the opening bid. The auctioneer is at his discretion will increase or nominate the increment, sometimes $5,000, $10,000 at a time, depending on how the auction goes. So we leave that to the discretion of the auctioneer. And once it reaches the reserve price, the property is then officially on the market, which means it will be sold to the highest bidder. It's definitely sold once the maximum bid has reached. So even though it might be on the market at a particular point, the auction can still increase and keep going. So in order to be legal and to do everything correctly, we have a couple of documents that we have to go through. One of them is, I've got them here, the authority to exchange at an auction. So that will be signed. It's a document that the parties, like the vendor as well as the purchaser, are actually authorised to bid at an auction and to exchange contract of sale if they get to the point where they actually be buying the property. So that needs to be clarified to start off with, because sometimes people have buyers advocates, or a solicitor might be acting on behalf of a vendor. So that needs to all be clarified through this document, so we can put that aside. Now we obviously have the contract for sale that's been provided by the solicitor, and that's the official document that will say that the property is sold. So that's I pre-filled some of these, and we'll have to have about 5 copies on hand. The next one is the bidder's guide, which is explaining all the rules. A bidder's record, which means that all the people that want to bid have been pre-registered and are given a number. So at the auction, we're just taking the numbers down. And as you know, our auctioneer is our company director, Jim Smythe, and he's been doing that for quite some time, so he's very good with that. But the bidder's record really has got the name of the bidder, the address, the identity of proof, because they have to verify, they are who they are. We give them a number, and then if they're bidding on behalf of someone else, they will actually that will be noted on the bidder's record as well. We have an auction agency agreement, which is the agreement that we signed at the other meeting. Yep. So that's all here on file, so there's no problem there at all. We've got that all sorted. So I think I've got that a little bit sorted differently, but anyway, so there we go. And the other thing we have as well is the record of attendance, which we register every single person that will attend the auction. So we've got a record for future use. So if we need to backtrack, if something should not go according to plan at the auction, we can always go back to these other people that we have on record then. Now, we need to just explain to you the purpose of the reserve price, because as you know, we've set one before, and I just wanted to double confirm with you. First of all, are you clear with all this paperwork, or do you need any clarification on it?
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Alright. So we move on to the reserve price. Now the purpose of the reserve price is obviously once it hits that price, the property will then be officially on the market, meaning that it will be sold. Now, are we still in agreement that it's 1.101 million, or have you changed your mind on that?
No, I think I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely happy.
Okay. So what I have to do is just put that in writing to the auctioneer just before the auction. So that's fine. Now, have you got any other questions?
No. I think so.
Did you before you asked me what happens if the property is passed in?
Oh yeah, what happens if the property passes in?
Yeah, you weren't sure, and I just wanted to
Yeah.
explain that to you. Yeah, you forgot, didn't you? Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Anyway, I just want to explain that the reserve price comes into it. So if the property is passed in, it obviously hasn't met the reserve price, and somewhere along the way the property is below that price. By law, we have to negotiate with the highest bidder. So we'll see where it sits at the time, and then if it's coming closer, we'll call in the highest bidder and start negotiating with him or her. If we still can't reach any agreement, we might approach the other bidders if there was other people bidding. I mean, often there's a crowd and there's only a limited amount of people actually bidding. But we've got the bidders record anyway, so we know beforehand roughly how many people are seriously interested. So we might approach the other bidders as well, and if to see if an agreement can be reached, we negotiate. The auction rules still apply until midnight that day. So if we come to an agreement, it still falls under the auction rules, which means no calling off. As I explained in the previous meeting. Now, if no agreement can be reached with any of the parties that participated in bidding, then the other options are that we put the property on the market for private sale. So we can go back to the inspection, like the open for inspection records, and see who was interested at the time and go back to those kind of prospective buyers. If they're interested, we'll bring them back and start negotiating with them. But if all that fails, then we have to go and advertise again. Or you can withdraw the property from the market if you wish. Well, we'll get to that point, when after. But that's the options that we have.
So then, what do we do when the property is sold? What's the procedure from there?
Okay, so once the highest bidder and the property has been called down, or the hammer has been put down, we invite the highest bidder to come inside the house and sign the contract and pay 10% deposit. That's the normal amount of deposit. And then we issue the receipt for them. And then once they've signed, then you will have to countersign the contract. And once they're all signed off by both parties, we'll send we send 2 copies to the solicitors, and then they're sorted out until settlement. So that's the process.
Okay.
The losing bidders and the other bidders are on the bidder record, and we'll just keep them on file to show them similar properties if they miss out this time around.
Okay.
Okay. So in order to get prepared, what I have to do now is actually have another look around the property, make sure that all the fittings and features, everything as when we did the appraisal report, remember?
Yeah.
If they're still all there, or if you have changed something, so I need to note that on the report. So what I want to do is I just got my little form here, and I want to just go around, if you don't mind. I'll do that right now. So unless you've got any other questions.
No, that's good. Should we come with you?
You can probably one of you can come with me. The other one can stay away.
I'll finish up in the kitchen.
Yeah. Okay, you can come with me and just show me a couple of things. So shall we start in the kitchen? Okay. What we've got here in the property details, we have the laminate. Oh, geez, the kitchen is a little bit messy. Anyway, we've got the laminate cupboards, 2 overhead cupboards with a range hook, which is still there, wall oven, electric and cooktop. We put that in. Then we would move into the family room. So family room, we've got all the other pictures here. Yep, that's fine. All right, no problem at all. I think I can just keep moving myself, and if you need to do something else, that's fine.
Well,
Okay.
are you going to let me know if you've got any questions or?
Yeah, I think I'm just walking through because I've got the report from before, so I'll check it against that. If there's anything changed, I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Okay, no worries.
We'll
Thank
just do it
you.
in the kitchen.
Okay, thank you.